And we are on bwana, tumerudi tena. We are back again with season 2 of the Cordial Podcast with me, of course, Kang'ong'oi. And I'm really proud of myself, proud of all my listeners because utajuaje ni season mpya? Utajuaje wewe? Hebu kwanza piga makofi mahali huko kwa sababu how else would you know? Now else would you know that we are in a new season, of course, and I sent out or I posted just a small snippet of introducing season 2 because I think we needed that. And I was sitting by, planning on how I'm going to do season 2 and what we're going to do different. And as I mentioned, we're not going to do one topic per episode because honestly, it was really hard to cut off, that conversation, especially when you're talking alone and recording these things. Uko peke yako and you're wondering, there's something I left out, all these thoughts. And when you go into planning of, this kind of work, it becomes really sometimes frustrating because there are things you remember you should have mentioned, there are things you should have talked about, and then it doesn't come to light, And so I decided, why not do a whole season of 3-part series where we're going to talk about part 1 of introduction of the topic, and then we dive deeper and deeper, and then by episode 3 or the part 3 of each topic that we have, the topic will be exhausted as it's supposed to be. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I know I just got deep kidogo kuhusu explaining that, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to listening to Mungai again because mlikuwa mnafikiria tutachukua break hapa ati 1 month break. Hapana, tunatoka ship moja kama tumeingia ingine jamani. So welcome back. This is part 1 and our topic of today. Niliona nikae chini nikaona, why am I hindering myself from talking about things that we are actually suffering from, topics that are actually deep inside us, sisi kama Gen Z. And the first topic I wanted to put out, the first 3-part series I wanted to put out was about good men. I'm sure you've heard about good men. I'm sure you've heard that famous topic or line and phrase of saying good men finish last, and that is basically the name of this 3-part series, good men finishing last. And it's really a breakdown because a couple of weeks ago I had an encounter with this topic and a small discussion with some people, and I was wondering why not cover it on the podcast. I tried self-sabotaging myself and saying no, don't cover, because at the end of the day you talk about relationships and all these things. And I was like, why am I hindering myself? Why? Because we are supposed to talk about these things. So ladies and gentlemen, part 1 will be about debunking this myth or misconception. Because is it a misconception or is it an actual fact that good men finish last? And why is that phrase always used, like good men finish last, So part 1 will be obviously about the introduction, a bit of history on why exactly this particular phrase was formed, and some bit of personal research and findings, and studies that I've done with people outside here. Asking them, do you actually believe in good men finishing last? And word on the street, nikisema street nasema tweet, tafadhali. Let it be made clear that if I ever mention about word on the street on any episode, tafadhali wewe jua ni Twitter. Hizo ni maoni zimetoka Twitter. So yeah. And then part 2 obviously will be talking about the characteristics of who a good man is. So watch out for that, because next weekend or next Saturday, it will be about, getting to know what actually forms a good man, or who is a good man. And then the last one is about the obstacles good men face and how exactly they should maneuver through. Naongea hapa ni kama nimekuwa psychologist, yeah? But no, hapana. These are all my opinions, so tafadhali msinikuje. You just listen. Listen from a perspective of a person. But anyway, let's just dive in right into the episode. But kidogo, short reminder, where I record these episodes, I sit close to a beautiful tree, and it has always been green, but unfortunately the past 2 weeks it has been shedding off its leaves, so kidogo ninachoma na jua na ninashindwa tutaelekea wapi. But no, let's enjoy this season, of it shedding its leaves. It looks like a reminder or a show of us moving into a new season with the podcast. Skia jaba sasa. Anyway, so we're going to go directly into this. Why this phrase good men finish last. And to be honest, if I may try to debunk this actual topic, I know I've said we will talk about the characteristics of who a good man is in the next episode, but just a touch of it. To me, I think the particular men that have been described in this phrase of good men finishing last, I think it's from a perspective of men who have suffered not in the hands of the society, but in the hands of their own doing, of their own actions. These are people who believe that they are good people and they deserve, and anyone deserves them. You get, like, that's the basic understanding of what I got when I was researching a bit about this particular topic. So when we're talking about the myth itself, if we might call it a myth, because I believe there's some truth to it, and there is, of course, the lie to it. What makes it a lie and what makes it the truth, So the truth bit of it is, these men are actually people who have good intentions to other people. That we cannot argue about. That we cannot even talk much about. And now here comes the false side of this. To my own understanding, that bit of finishing last is really bad. Of course, it comes from the part where we've seen actual happenings. We've heard of people talking about their experiences as good men, crying out, sijui, at the end of the day, when you're late in your age, like from 30, 35 is when you might now get the woman you want, all these things. And I was sitting here, of course, for some time I had believed that, because those are expenses of people. You listen to people and you're like, wow, this actually happened, and you're 20 something years old and you're like, if I am a good man, then so I have to wait until I'm 30 or 35 to get the woman I want, because I have to give her time sijui kuzunguka huku nje and doing whatnot, and them trying out what they want. Why shouldn't I also try what I want? But it's still in the same breath, you're also trying what you want, because when you're looking for that particular woman that you want, ndio upate your heartbreak, ndio uambiwe una finish last. You're always going after people you find attractive, or you kind of feel like you can pull them out of whatever rubble they're in. And that's the actual weakness of the so-called good men. They think they are saviors of some sort, whereby, as I said, I mentioned earlier that they think every woman deserves a good man. And if I believe I'm a good man, personally, any woman should have me, like you find me to be a good person, then you should at least try something out with me. And it's a really tough experience, because these kind of men have this mentality that, as I sit here and I call myself a good man, any woman that I find or that finds me attractive or interested in me, this particular kind of men dive directly into thinking, this is my woman and I do not need another woman. And you start, imagining all these things of how you guys are going to have a good experience, good relationship, marriage, kids. Nakumbuka hizo story mlikuwa mnapiga kwa talking stage, na huyo mtu wako. All this talk, it starts building the fantasies in your head, and you sit there and you're like, you debunk such kind of experiences, and you're like, why do good men now form this kind of fantasy that when they find somebody who has interest in them, they go direct to fantasizing about what they would want that relationship to look like. And but these stories these stories I'm giving might relate to women too. So anyway, let's continue the debunking. So you sit there and then you realize, when a good man now jumps into those fantasies, there is a really, really big part of getting to know somebody that you ran away from, and it's seeing the person as they are. Because the weakness that they have is that they think, as I said, they think they can save these people from whatever issues they are having, and they think them being good is everything that is needed. I won't lie, men are supposed to be leaders, men are supposed to be, initiators, providers, protectors. These are shenanigans. Hizo vitu zote mnaonanga kwa Twitter na kwa Instagram and whatever social media you're on. All these things, yes, you're supposed to do all that. But in the quest of getting to know somebody, I think there is need for people to be sober away from fantasies, so that you might get to see somebody and you see the actions that they are doing, and you actually read them for what they are. Because you see, you're supposed to be and this is the issue, this is the weakness that I just does that and involve kwa kitu. We good men. This is the issue that we face, whereby we completely run away from seeing people as they are, and thinking that with time, as time builds up, as the relation builds up, then these people might be formed into another character that you want them to be. And this is where the heartbreak comes in. With time, then you realize, wow, this person cannot change, or this person cannot be who I envision them to be. Na sasa hapo ndio sasa kichapo inaanza kukuchapa. Character development ikikaribia, ndio hiyo inakuja inakupiga moyo. Where are my wings? Because honestly, that is the big issue that we have. And all these things happen because, personally, I can say it happens because we have a lot of fantasies in our heads of how relationships should be like. We read a lot of things, a lot of content from the internet and social media, and it forms a whole basis of fantasies of how you should act. And you might be having good intentions to somebody you're trying to get to know. You might have all the good intentions, but if you combine the good intentions with the fantasies that you have, you'll be only feeding this person the idea of you're a good man. But I think to be a good man, hapana, hiyo siambiani. Ngoja mpaka episode 3. Because hizi ni obstacles, tusharuka kwa obstacles. But anyway, as I was saying, to be a good man, you have to You have to sit down and actually analyze yourself. You have to sit down and take accountability and responsibility of your actions. And you must always, I repeat, you must always be sober in every kind of decision that you make. Sit down and be sober. Ask yourself, am I making the right decision? Am I actually listening to get to know this person, or am I listening to them so that I can see if they can fit into my fantasies? Maswali lazima tujiulize jamani. And to be honest, that bit of soberness comes from you being alone and you listening to yourself and you knowing how you act and how you do your things. In order for you to connect with somebody else, then that is the basis and foundation that you need from an individual as yourself first. If you have good intentions, then have good intentions with yourself first. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about good men finishing last, do you think it is a myth, or do you think it is the truth? Well, as I've said, there are many experiences that we've heard about, that we've seen of quote-unquote good women finishing fast. Good men finishing last, and I won't lie. Those type of stories really get to me. Nasikianga vibaya sana. I really feel bad because you see how a man is treated by this particular person, and you're like, why would you want somebody who rejected you not even 2 months ago, not even 6 months ago, but years ago? Why would you want somebody like that back into your life later on, And it just comes to prove that these people do not actually have good intentions for themselves first. They think that the other person, became the other person became nimesikia kucheka disaster kenye naenda kusema. You think the other person now became the person that you wanted them to be. You think that they had this kind of magical realization that I missed out on somebody and I need to go back. My guy, years later. No. Yapana. Hiyo tumekataa kama BBI. But yeah. So even as I sit here, I will say the experiences are enough for me to know that I need to have good intentions with myself first before you even go to give other people good intention. It starts with you, and it is in these fantasies that we build in our heads, in our minds, that actually ruin the it being good men, and it gives out the result of you as a good man finishing last. It really does. So even as you hear of these stories outside here of good men finishing last, there's one thing I love doing when I listen to people's experiences, especially on relationships. I love listening to how they address themselves in the whole story, how they talk about the other person, how do they talk about the experience they had. At any point, do they have any realization of what they did for them to get themselves in such situations? I do not know, but I love listening to people talk about them, because in such experiences, then you get to learn a lot. You get to learn a lot on what you need to work on as a man and as a woman too. I prefer learning from other people's experiences, because I really don't think life should have you running around chasing every kind of experience. No, there's some things you just listen from people and you learn. You learn from them. You see the consequences they are facing and you're like, no, I don't need to do that. So yeah, so I'll say yes. If you do not take life as a whole experience that it means, wisdom, then you as a good man will finish last. I will not even lie to you. You will finish last. You will finish last. And there's one thing I really don't like about this good men thing, because let me tell you one of the fantasies that good men put in their brains. One really bad fantasy that they put up. You see how every experience nowadays is being shared on social media. You see how men talk about what they want from relationships, what they don't like from relationships. Let me tell you the brain of a good man, how it works, quote unquote. So he sees women talk about, we do not like men who do this, we do not like men who do this, we like men who do this, and they take that and they put it in their heads and they create that character. So anytime he meets a woman, because in his head, subconscious mind, because we feed ourselves through these experiences on social media and what we read and what we consume, all these things go straight to the subconscious mind, where actions are formed, where behavior is formed. And so you create this particular character of, quote unquote, a good man, so that you might please people. You might what? Please people. And so this is one mistake that good men make. You go out, you listen to people, of course, because a good man is a good listener. Jabba stories. And you listen to them and they're like, no, we don't like these people who do this. We like people who do this. And you do all these things. And then you go out into the world. You embody that character and you do all that and you still get hurt. And then you ask yourself, you come back to your room and you ask yourself, but I did exactly what they wanted, so why did this happen to me? You see, now when you start asking yourself such questions, then you realize whatever you were doing was not from pure intentions. You just thought the intentions will be good enough to embody as a character, and it will never work out. And it is at that point that you should actually realize that you should make your character from pure intentions of not pleasing people, but intentions of doing things because you know they are right, not because you want to please people, doing them because you're right. Come, sir? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is me debunking this whole myth or truth of good men finishing last. Because we have to talk about these things, man. We actually have to talk about them. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, I think I would say it has some truth to it and it has some falseness to it. But I would rather have them both and just say this is a whole experience that needs to be discussed, and people have to realize on what they're picking up and what they're doing and why they're doing them and why they're making decisions, so that we can know how we can maneuver around life as an experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 1 of Good Men Finishing Last. And I can confirm, yes, I am a recovering good man as per, all these explanations that have been given for the past 20 minutes. Jamani, unaweza shindwa hata watu hapa wananiangalia wanashindwa huyu jamaa anajiongelesha. It's because I'm a good man, tafadhali. I'm a very good man. But anyway, I hope part 1 of this particular topic has been interesting, because when we go into next week's Bwana, we are talking about the character. We will go deeper into the character. I've mentioned a bit of the characteristics of a good man, of course, but we will go deeper into it. We will see the good sides of it. We will see the virtues. We will see what kind of success a good man has or should have, or things he should have, and we are going to talk about the characteristics they embody that are not really self-serving, or they're self-serving, or they're selfish, or we are going to talk about all these things, and we are going to talk about even if there are long-term benefits, or how exactly do you benefit from being a good man and why are you looking at the benefits of being a good man. This, ladies and gentlemen, will be on the second part and the second episode of season 2, so get ready. I hope this episode has been as intriguing as the topic will perceive. So see you next week. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't remember. Don't remember. Don't remember. Mimi nakwambia, do not remember to subscribe. Do not remember to subscribe. Do not remember to share. Do not remember. Do not remember all these things, because why not? Why not? So this has been the Cordial Podcast, episode 1, season 2, and we are out.